Welcome to this week's episode of Bushnell Presents Prairie Pursuit. This week, join Kane and I in southern Saskatchewan as we hunt mule deer and whitetail. He's got his own tags, his own rifle. He took his hunter safety course. He's ready to hunt.
Got her.
Bushnell presents Prairie Pursuit, brought to you by Bushnell Outdoor Products Canada, Hornady, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, Old Smokes Coffee, JB Sausage Supplies, Tourism Saskatchewan, North Pro Sports, Crosby Cedar Products, Ace Outfitting, Tobin Lake Trophy Adventures, Graham's Tire, Trail Runners Canine Training Center, and Labrador Retriever Dogs and Puppies. And these fine sponsors.
Careless firearm handling and irresponsible behavior by hunters usually results in less access to private lands, more legal restrictions on hunting, and negative public reaction to hunting.
True.
This is a pretty cool season for me because I have a new hunting partner this summer, or this fall.
The first and most important thing for you to guard against if you become lost is panic.
True.
Yeah, you've been following me around the bush for a long time, for quite a few years, and this was the first year you got to take your hunter safety.
A hunter who wounds an animal should not worry about it because the animal will likely recover.
False.
So you took your hunter safety in the spring. You took it online. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Yeah. It was actually pretty fun. It's kind of like a video game.
What are you working on?
My hunter safety course.
How's it going?
Good.
Are you getting most of the stuff right?
Yeah.
The first consideration of all hunters must be safety.
True.
This year is kind of cool because now he's got his own tags to fill. He got his new rifle this fall. 6.5 Creedmoor, topped with the Bushnell Elite 4500 and Hornady's ELDX ammunition.
It was good because for my first gun, it didn't have any kick, so it didn't feel uncomfortable. I was worried before I first shot it though because I thought it was going to have kick, but it honestly felt like a 22 shot.
He's got his own tags, his own rifle. He took his hunter safety course. He's ready to hunt.
It's important for hunters to remember that hunting is a right.
False.
What is it?
It's a privilege.
It's pretty cool to have him tag along.
Maps are used to be paired since the south is at the top and north is at the bottom.
False.
I wouldn't say it's a rite of passage, but it is kind of, in our family, you know, my grandfather hunted, my father hunted, I hunt, and to have that opportunity now to pass that along to Kane and share with him some of the things that I've learned along the way is very cool.
Habitat is the key to wildlife survival.
True.
It's always nice having that companionship, a fresh set of eyes out there. Very, very helpful. He's been seeing a lot of deer, spots a lot. It is really nice to have him along.
Well, you ready to go or what? Excited?
Yeah.
What are you most excited about?
Shooting.
It's shooting. The easy part of hunting. It's the windy and cold out there, but that snow should help find those deer. Your very first tags right here, all filled out. Let's get to notch those after.
Mm-hmm.
Want to make sure we got these with us. And what are we looking for today?
Mule deer does.
Mule deer doe. We got 2 mule deer doe tags, so that should be fun.
Where are we going, Kaner?
Hunting.
For what?
Mule deer.
Mule deer? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Why are you excited?
Because I want to shoot one.
It was Kane's first year of mule deer hunting, or big game hunting in general. What a better way to start than with mule deer? You know, we here in southern Saskatchewan, we're blessed to have a ton of game, especially mule deer and mule deer does. they give us a lot of opportunities, and there's just a lot of them around. So for Kane and I to get to go down and hunt mule deer prior to the whitetail season was a pretty good warm-up for him. It was Kane's first year of mule deer hunting, or big game hunting in general, and what a better way to start than with mule deer. We here in southern Saskatchewan, we're blessed to have a ton of game, especially mule deer and mule deer does. They give us a lot of opportunities, and there's just a lot of them around. So for Kane and I to get to go down and hunt mule deer prior to the whitetail season was a pretty good warm-up for him.
I've seen lots of mule deer. Good spot.
The first day we went down, we ended up spotting quite a few mule deer. I tag along behind Kane with the camera and let him do his thing.
Try to sneak up on this mule deer doe.
We got busted.
Seriously?
I think probably the first 2 or 3 stalks we did, we were busted. To be expected. It's his first time hunting. I was playing more cameraman than I was guide, but he kept persevering. And the nice thing about that is we had lots of opportunities to get on those deer.
Okay, what's going on, Kane?
We're getting ready to go shoot some does. They're just over the hill.
You on?
You can't keep walking after, you gotta stop. We can't just walk straight at them. At some point we gotta shoot, right? What happened, Kane?
Went up to them, and then they saw us and ran away.
So we have to be a little more sneaky next time?
Yeah.
Is it cold enough out there for you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go find some other ones.
Right there.
What happened that time?
When we were walking up, they saw the orange coming through the trees, and they ran away. Well, that sucks.
Yep. You getting frustrated yet?
Mm-hmm.
Smile, you're hunting. Smile.
So finally, it's late in the day. Kane and I spot a couple mule deer down in an old abandoned farmyard.
Do it.
We sneak into the yard. Kane gets set up on this mule deer doe.
You ready? Get lined up. Yeah.
And he shoots.
Where is she?
And unbeknownst to either one of us, he shot a tree in front of it. I thought at the time I'd seen a tree branch kind of blow up, and it wasn't until later in the night that we looked at the camera footage and you could see he clearly hit the tree. Clearly a kill shot. The tree didn't go anywhere at all. But before I could zero or recenter the camera on that doe running to the left.
See it? Got her.
Kane was on her, took a shot, and she dropped right away. So I was pretty impressed. Pretty proud that he was able to regain his composure and pick that deer up in his sights as quick as he did.
Got her.
Not a lot of experienced hunters can do that quickly, but he missed. He chambered second round, and within seconds that mule deer was on the ground.
Just shot my first deer.
You did you?
It's a doe, but it's still a deer, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of him. That was a pretty cool moment to watch him shoot his first big game animal.
Did she just walk away?
Nope, she's still laying. That buck's actually a pretty nice buck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, 100%. Congratulations. Ideally, we're aiming for right here. Let's celebrate! Woo-hoo!
Finally. I know I've only been hunting for 1 day, so
So what we need to do is
grab the
Get-
five.
get some pictures, and then we'll drag it back. Let's cut your tag for your first tag. There you go. First tag's cut. We'll hang on to these till we clean his deer up real quick.
Where are we gonna clean the deer?
Right here.
Okay.
Welcome to this week's segment of JB Sausage Maker Supplies with Dwayne. And we made a pile of sausage. There's 400 pounds sitting out there. There's pepperoni, breakfast sausage, and there's fresh sausage, and then there's smokies with all different kinds, which is fantastic. But what I also learned today was all the different stages. So tell us about that.
Well, the process of smoking is, a lot of people want smoke just for flavor. When you put it in the smokehouse, the biggest thing is to get it dry so that the smoke will penetrate the meat. So at 100 degrees, you're not really overcooking it, you're cold smoking it. On a finished process, we want to see about 160 degrees internally to make sure that product is cooked all the way through. We would allow a little more smoke time on the higher temperatures to achieve a better flavor.
It looks amazing. I mean, it's so exciting when you open the door of that smoker and the smoke billows out, and then in behind the smoke is just this unbelievable meat. It's super tasty. The jerky was incredible. The same day jerky.
We're gonna set this for about a 30-minute tumble.
Thanks for everything. I know that if you're interested in making your own sausage, getting into smoking, and preparing yourself for a freezer full of meat after your hunt, get the JB Sausage Maker Supplies for all your spices, all your gear, and everything you need. And maybe even stop by and talk to Dwayne, and he might give you a few tips on how to get the job done.
Here in southern Saskatchewan, with the youth game draw, you're allowed 2 mule deer doe tags. He was able to fill that first tag. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fill that second one. We went down the second day. We took down Paul and Riley. She had a couple tags as well. We had a trail cam picture of this whitetail buck. Not a monster buck, but it looks like he must have been playing in somebody's grain bag or got caught up in a tarp.
I saw him yesterday and saw him again today. His antlers are all wrapped in a tarp. It's pretty cool. You just saw him across the way.
You see those antlers, it looked like he's wearing earmuffs, and we ranged him at about 350 yards with those Bushnell Fusion X. We thought about taking him just because it was cool, a cool story to have those antlers, but we didn't. But we got to watch him for, a half an hour that afternoon, which was pretty exciting.
There is one dog, possibly largest. Right there. Laying down in some cattails.
So what's the plan?
I'm gonna try and sneak up to it without them running away and get a good shot at it.
Wait till it turns sideways. Or that one that's standing there. There you go, hold on. Okay, as soon as I stop. Yeah, there you go, Riley. Good shot.
Yeah, drilled him. Good work. Here. It's okay. 256 yards. That's all right. Go up and get this one. Good. Yeah. Try again. Riley, fuck on. One down. Yeah, that's one.
We were able to fill one or two of Riley's tags, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get Kane's second tag filled, but don't feel too bad. We had a couple whitetail tags hitting in our pocket, and I know we were gonna do just fine. Fast forward a couple weeks to middle of November. Kane and I had our cameras out, our trail cameras out all fall. We're using the Bushnell Core Cam. We've got some of the cellular cameras and just some of the regular cameras. And, we were watching deer all fall on these cameras. And, every time we'd see a new buck show up or a bigger buck show up, Kane would automatically say that was the buck he was going to take. And I think wasn't until the night before the season, he had his sights on a pretty nice buck. It was a 5x5, and there was another big 4x4 in the area we were hunting, the farm we hunted.
Oh, that's the big guy. I'm doing it again. I want to get that tree line. He's gonna follow these to the board as well.
But when this one came out, I got pretty excited because I knew this was the one I was going to shoot.
It all happened so fast. The buck came out chasing a doe across the field, ran back in front of Kane, probably gave him a 75-yard shot, but he didn't have his tripod set up, and he took one shot at this thing, standing broadside at us, and he missed.
As soon as he stopped, I just had to stand up and try and hit him. I missed that because I didn't have a shooting stand.
That's not an easy shot to make for anybody. You know, 75 yards, freehand, you're excited. It's your very first whitetail buck standing in front of you. You got your old man over your shoulder with a camera, probably chirping in his ear a little bit.
After he missed him, he went back into the bush and came out one more time.
And then Kane spotted that buck maybe 50 yards inside the tree line.
I hit him, but I did not think I hit him because he ran away completely unharmed, it looked like. And then he swerved into the bush, and you saw him fall down, but I had no idea.
I'm pretty confident that about 100 yards from where the deer, where we shot from, I thought I saw the deer fall over and some snow flying up. So I was pretty confident that he hit it.
You actually tried to film it, but all three of your cameras weren't working.
Unfortunately, my GoPro died that night, and my camera batteries are dead on the big camera. He made a great shot, one shot, shot him right in the boiler room, and we kind of walked the tree line, and Kane's prize was where we thought it was, so that was pretty cool to watch his reaction on his first buck.
How is that? Kane, that is an absolute tank. What do you think? Awesome. Is this one of the best days ever? Come here. What do you want to say for the camera?
I don't know.
Oh, Kane, that is awesome. Let's get this guy out. We'll get a couple pictures.
It was definitely bigger than my first one, bigger than a lot of deer I have hanging on the wall. So for him to shoot that very, very first deer the way he did and put the time and effort in that he did was pretty impressive. We did a lot of scouting this fall, watching trail cameras, putting a lot of miles on our trucks, a lot of miles on the boots, scouting. You know, here in Saskatchewan, we're fortunate. We have mule deer, whitetail, antelope, moose, elk. And on any given day, you know, depending where you're hunting, you have an opportunity to see those. And, you know, there was one morning, Kane and I got to watch a cow and a calf moose, and they were only a few hundred yards away from us, and they sat there for the entire morning and didn't move. They were just as curious as we were. That's what makes hunting exciting and keeps it interesting. And especially young hunters and new hunters, to see and do as much as they can is pretty cool. Probably our number one spot to sit this year on this farm was a ground blind that we had. The farmer had some old brush piled up along a tree line, and that's kind of where we sat most of the year.
It's November 20th. I should know this date because it's my mother-in-law's birthday. Happy birthday, Leslie. We were here last night. This is where Kane shot his big buck. We have 2 big bucks on camera. Kane's got 1. I won't be at the others. 2 big bucks down in 2 days. Be outstanding.
You know, with the last week in the season, wasn't a whole lot of time left. We only had 3 or 4 days left to hunt. I'd seen this guy 2 or 3 times throughout the season. That morning, actually, we had seen him walking into the trees.
That's a big one.
Yes, I'm gonna shoot him. Ready? All fine.
Once again, as usual, Kane was able to spot this buck coming out of the trees. I was trying to run the camera and I'm panning over and looking at the camera and make sure he's in the frame, get back on the tripod. And you can see on the camera, I fired just over top of his back. And he kind of stopped, looked around, and I was able to chamber another round real quick and finally put that one into him.
Big buck down, baby. One of the ones we were looking for. Gotta love it. 2 deer we got to get together, buddy, so far. Hey, how sweet is that? 2 big bucks
cool.
this season. First Kane, and now this one. Let's do it. Boom. Big buck down. All right. Not a bad morning. Just shot this beautiful 4x4, beautiful 8-point buck. It's one we had on camera, one we've been watching. So again, that's the second deer this year we've taken with the 6.5 Creedmoor with the 143 grain Hornady ELDX bullets and the Bushnell Elite 4500. Pretty cool combination. Dropped this deer in its tracks at about 150 yards. You shot yours last week, Kane, at about 100 yards. Yeah. 2 big bucks down. Gotta love it. Thanks for watching this episode of Prairie Pursuit.
Bushnell presents Prairie Pursuit, brought to you by Bushnell Outdoor Products Canada, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Old Smokes Coffee, JB Sausage Supplies, Tourism Saskatchewan, North Pro Sports, Crosby Cedar Products, Ace Outfitting, Tobin Lake Trophy Adventures, Graham's Tire, Trail Runners Canine Training Center, and Labrador Retriever Dogs and Puppies. And these fine sponsors.